We have Kenneth Javier Rosales, followed by Patrick Shibi, Patrick, followed by Frank Swanson. Welcome, Kenneth.
Hi, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Moore and Council. My name is Kenneth Javier Rosales, the Leadership Development Program Manager with SV at Home, a housing justice organization, a membership organization that works across Santa Clara County to advance affordable housing. We'd like to show our support of the Linda Vista Drive project and urge approval of staff's recommendation. We are excited about adding 51 new homes integrated with affordable options located near parks, trails, schools, and services. This is a well-located project that helps deliver very much needed housing. This development advances our housing goals and RHNA obligations. Staff has found this project to be exempt from CEQA, consistent with no net loss under Senate Bill 166, and compliant, ready for approval. Approving this proposal will add to our very needed housing supply and support infill near existing amenities. It'll also give us certainty to move housing forward in the city of Cupertino and the larger Santa Clara County and the Bay Area. We respectfully urge the council to agree with the findings that the project is exempt from CEQA, the no net loss findings, and approving the project as recommended by staff. Thank you so much. I yield my time.
Thank you, Kenneth. Next, we have Patrick, followed by Frank Swanson, followed by Dan Marshall. Welcome, Patrick.
Council members, my name is Patrick Sheehy, and I live with my wife just 2 houses north of the proposed development. My main concern is, just like everybody else, the development is fire. I have experience with my brother-in-law and sister in the park fire up a fire that was in July and August of 2024. My brother-in-law Doug had a defensible space with a generator pumping water on his house and on the garden. The fire was so hot that it melted the piping on the water sprinkler, and it also melted holes in his windows. So the only thing that saved the house was the fire crews from Central California. So Linda Vista Park is just a few hundred yards south of Summer Hill Development, and Linda Vista Golf Course is adjacent on the backside. If a fire were to start in strong winds in Linda Vista or in the golf course area, there'd be little time to try to contain the blaze before it spread to the older homes and then to the 51 and another of the 51 townhomes. And then what do I and my neighbors do? If I evacuate right away, I might be able to use my car to escape. If not, then I would have to walk because the streets would become impassable. I don't walk very fast anymore, let alone run. We ask that you take our arguments into consideration before you make your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Next, we have Frank Swanson, followed by Dan Marshall, followed by Danessa Tekmansky. Welcome, Frank.
I'm Frank Swanson, and I'm an electrical engineer and systems engineer, retired. I live across the street from the Evulich property. I've been there since 1969. And I fully expected that property to be turned into single-family homes, not a townhouse complex that's being proposed. I think it's just the wrong thing to build on that particular piece of property for 3 reasons. The first reason is the one you've heard most tonight, and that's the firestorm evacuation peril. I am one of the people that's going to have to get out of there. All the people that live in the Linda Vista corridor. And you've also forgot about the people on Ray Lane, which is another corridor, has 1 exit. They have to get out through Hyannisport. They have 1 way out as well. So That's the main reason that I want to talk, that you need to consider in your decision tonight. The other two reasons are more related to character and of the neighborhood. Having walls of the people who live adjacent to the property in their backyard, they're going to see walls 30 feet high. Think of that. If you had your house with a 30-foot wall behind your house, how would you feel about that? Then the people in the swim and racket club. This is a view of the racket club from Court 3, and this is what they see today. If this complex is built, this is what the people in the club are going to see. 240 people are not going to be very happy with this project. They're going to see a big wall. Maybe not in red, but it's going to be a big wall. I think you're going to make that many, 240 people, very unhappy. So three things I think you should do is, want to disapprove this project, revert back to R1, and task the Planning Commission to come up with some other locations for this particular kind of project.
Thank you, Frank. That is your time. Next, we have Dan Marshall, followed by Danessa Tekmansky, followed by Shuba. Welcome, Dan. Is Dan here? No, Dan. Danessa Tekmansky, are you here?
Hi, I'm Danessa Tekmansky. I'm a 33-year Cupertino resident. Got it up there. Okay. So I wanted to show you these slides that my friend has been explaining to me. This first one's about a legal threat to extract $30 million in profit based on a confirmed compliance that the fire department explicitly rejected. Cox, Castle, and Nicholson formally claims that the fire department has confirmed compliance with PRC 4291 as part of the AB 130 process. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me. Okay. The Santa Clara County Fire Department's explicit documented status for PRC 4291 is not approved. I was noticing that earlier, had a lot of questions, and they're maintaining it as an outstanding requirement requiring a preliminary fire protection plan. The AMMR and January 7th approval are strictly limited to PRC 4290 for the 30-foot setback exception. PRC 4291 is entirely omitted from the scope of this approval. Okay. The attorney submitted a letter claiming compliance on February 12th of 2026. And in March of 2026, the residents formally notified Cox and Castle's attorney of factual discrepancies with the primary source attachments, but that was never corrected. They refused to correct it. So, do I have? I'm out of time. Okay.
Thank you, Janessa.
Thank you.
Next, we have Shuba, followed by Luis Sadati, followed by Rhoda Fry. Is there a Shuba in the audience? No. We will go to Luis Sadati.
Good evening. Thank you for your service. I'm Luis Sadati, 38-year resident, 40-year resident of Cupertino. This project is currently vacant land. The project concept was begun in January of 2022. Okay. It's included in our housing element. Cooper is not building the required number of homes. Our HCD deadline is April 4th, 2026. That's 3 days from now. If we don't meet the deadline, the builder's remedy could return again to Cupertino. Developers would then be free to build as they wish with no input nor constraint from our Cupertino City Council. So we really do want to meet that April 4th deadline so that we won't have builder's remedies. Cupertino needs starter homes for young families. Townhomes are more affordable than the surrounding single-family homes. 51 townhomes, 10 BMR units. The project is at the lowest density allowed in the housing element. The alternative is 4 to 5 story apartment condominiums in that same area. The project is close to Lincoln Elementary, Kennedy Middle School, and Monte Vista, all of which have declining enrollments. Rignard Elementary was closed last year due to the lack of students. This was a nationally recognized school, and we closed it because of lack of students. The value of the homes in this area are based on school reputation and access. We need this project to be passed by April 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. Next, we have Rhoda Fry.
Can you see if this works?
Yep.
There we go. Hey, so you've got a decision ahead of you whether CEQA is required, and AB 130 has some very strict rules. One of them is the project in an earthquake zone, and here it is. Here's the and it has to be an official map published by the state geologist. And so here we are, right there. So we're in an earthquake zone. Yeah, developer used the August Priolo map, which is also a state geologist one, but they're always behind. So here you go. There they are. Now, the other thing is we've heard a lot about this tonight, about these 3 things that you need to do to the loophole for fire. I mean, some cities say you can't do it at all. Where's Cupertino's policy, by the way? But anyway, there's 3 requirements. Only one of them was met. And in my opinion, the developer used these guys, our fire guys, as patsies. Because the architectural and site approval comments, that has nothing to do with AB 130, and nor does the AMR was insufficient. And of course, Kitty Moore mentioned the USTs. I also did in my comments, but she found lots of stuff on there. And by the way, there was a retroactive building permit for the removal of those tanks, which I found to be somewhat concerning when I did the building department a while back. You've already heard this tonight. 10 feet does not equal 30. Okay. That's what they're saying. But if there's a fire and an earthquake, and there's likely no water, and then the exterior sprinklers won't within 30 feet won't work. Okay, we're already getting our water mains are already failing without the assistance of earthquakes. So and this is why we need CEQA. It has to do with cumulative impacts. The use of the AMR was improper. It should only be used for exceptional circumstances. Again. Fires treated like patsies. They said, oh, well, it was because of design constraints. Yeah, because it was because of profits. So here's my last slide. Please read it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhoda. Mayor, that concludes the request to speak in person. We will move to those hands raised.